All right, and hello and welcome back to another Wednesday live show. We had very dramatic
Good
opening
timing.
there.
Yes, good timing.
I'm your host, Miranda. We have no Flo this week. She has family in town, so we let her out of the cage for a little bit to go, you know, get some exercise and sunlight. But she should be back in the next 2 weeks here after she finishes some commissions as well. Below me, I've got Disembodied Voice as my co host tonight.
Hello.
And we've got special guests, one of the other folks from my opening video, Phil, the Glacial Geek. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we can
I
talk
don't
about
know.
some fun hobby stuff.
Was he in the opening? I think he's in the closing.
No,
Oh,
I in the opening.
I was in that video, but
Yeah.
I the one we talked about because you did mention it. That was the that we filmed there. I was in that video. I don't know if I made it into the opening. I may not have made the cut.
I think it's
so.
the closing. It's in
Might
the
be
closing video he's
that's a
in.
longer video.
Yeah, it's
Fair.
a 3-minute video. So
Yeah.
everybody here watching, stay till the end so you can
Yeah.
His
So you can
acting
see
debut.
you can see the Phil Easter egg. So
That's right. There's a fun video we shot at the mini wargaming bunker when they opened.
In 2019.
Good Lord.
Oh man, that feels like an age ago for sure.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes.
Have you been back to the bunker since then?
Yes, I have been back. A couple times actually, I think.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
It's been a little while since I've been back, but yeah, I went back I've been back a couple times. So yeah, it's fun. That's a
I mean,
cool
we need to
place.
make it up there again.
I
Yes,
do
you
love
should.
it. It was beautiful area.
Yeah.
2019 Paul is crazy. Also Paul, my wonderful moderator, hanging out, keeping my fine audience in line. No Hail Manoth in here. We'll see. Paul, Phil, what have you been up to? What have you been working on?
So recently, right now, I've been the main thing I've been working on is I'm in the middle, right in the middle of a big Emperor's Children army project. So I'm trying to build and paint an entire 2,000 point Emperor's Children army for Adepticon, which is I'm flying out a week from today. I will be in at Adepticon like this time next week. So yeah. So at this point, I've got so far I've already painted up. Let me count again.
Is it the Champion of Slaanesh box set?
Yes. So it's I have two. I got two of those, thankfully, from Games Workshop. Sent over two of those for me, which is awesome.
Wow.
Very excited.
I know.
I'm kind of a cool guy. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they were just like we're sending two, and I was like, sounds good. So, and it's funny because I don't know if they have like mind control. Maybe they do, or like mind reading now, because I really wanted to do like an Emperor's Children army. And I felt like that was like the sign from like the Dark Gods that I was supposed to do one that he when they sent over the two there. So I was like, all right. I feel like that's them saying like, now you have very little like reason not to, Phil. And I was like, all right, fine. Yeah. So I did that. So
all excuses have been purged.
Exactly. It's like, oh, well, I can't get So yeah. So there I am. I was going to be able to do that. So yeah. So it's a big chunk of that. I also have some Terminators that I've got that I did. They're just like Horus Heresy Terminators that I painted up kind of as Slaanesh 40K, which I feel like works for like the the
Here, show it again. Sorry, I had you tiny.
Sure. Yeah, no worries. I got like the regular Horus Heresy.
So pink.
Yeah,
I like the teal added to it. That's great.
Yeah, that's like the color scheme I've gone with. So I've been pretty happy. Like I've got like this is like the Lord Exultant, like one of the new characters. So I did a little bit of messing with his sculpt and stuff like that. But I've been really liking like this color scheme with like the teal and the pink.
He looks
really
great.
Thank you. Yeah, and then it's like some of these other guys, like these are the Tormentors, like they're the shooty guys. But yeah, it like it's fun to be able to play around with like this color scheme. It's been fun, and that like. Part of the reason I wanted to do this is that like I feel like my painting skills have really increased like a fair amount relatively recently. I feel like my painting skills have really increased well because for a long time I was just doing I was painting to get things onto the table for tournaments or battle reports. Like that was like the whole focus of what I was painting.
Right.
But then last year, I became a member of the Army Painters Factory team, and which was super exciting and a lot of awesome. Like it was really really fun and really cool. and to be able to be a part of like that and be a part of like a team with people like Sam Lenz and Uncle Adam.
Oh
Yeah, and
we're friends with
also,
Sam.
exactly, awesome people and awesome painters. So it's like him, and then there's the studio painter for the Army Painter. Thomas is just like an incredible painter as well, and I found myself just like and Tyler, like their social media guy, like all of them are like incredible painters and like award-winning painters.
Right.
And I was like, I want to, it inspired me to want to like try harder, and like instead of just like doing the minimum to get it onto a table for a battle report or for a tournament or whatever, it made me want to like try more and try harder. And with that, it just like, because I started to push myself and trying these things, like just innately, as you just do more and try more and push more, you just get better. And I was like, I felt like none of my armies kind of like represented like where I was in my painting journey. So it was like all these different things kind of came together and like made me feel like maybe this is like meant to be, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm supposed to try to do this because of all these things.
So you would look at all your old armies and you were just disappointed in them now.
Yeah. Like, and, you know, and it's like, and it's, I get maybe not disappointed, but I felt like, cause like all of it is like in my mind, like a painting journey. It's like all a journey. It's like all these things, like there are models that I have painted that I felt were better than the ones that I first painted. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I could see the progression from what I've done. And I have like, I always keep, like, I have these guys that my wife calls the melty cow men, which were like some of the first models I ever painted back, like way back in the day. And it's just like globbed on paint to the fact that like to the point that it looks like their faces are melting off.
Yep. The Elmer Blue effect.
Exactly. And I wanted to do urban camo, and it was just splotches of like black, white, and gray all over.
Just the big
like these stormtroopers
paints.
Exactly. And then like when I would try to do eyes, if it got too much, like if I got it too big, instead of like starting over or doing whatever, I just turned it into sunglasses that I painted onto their faces. Like,
yes,
compared to that to where I am today is like a big difference. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, but I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am today if I didn't start doing something like that. So it's less that I look at it like with disappointment and more just like I can do better. You know what I mean? Like I'm not disappointed in what I did. I'm not disappointed in what I accomplished. I just want to do better, and I wanted an army that like represented those steps that I had taken. So
you're saying you look at your old armies now and you say, I can do better than you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to like beat out like anyone else except for myself, like old Phil. You know what I mean? So
there you go. Well, it's always good to surround yourself by people who are better at the thing you're trying to get better at, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's how you get better.
Exactly. And it's one of the really cool things, like you're at Nova last year, so like there's a ton of people who enter the capital palette, right? And so gosh, 600 entries or something like that, but they all get to talk to the judges who are all amazing painters like Sam. And so they get all this great feedback, and they can know like where they can focus on getting better, especially like for you, where you just sort of like, I overall want to make my painting like what were you counting as better? Were you trying to pick up specific techniques? Were you like, I'm going to try slap chop? Like, what was that?
Yeah. So to me, it wasn't necessarily like a specific technique as much as learning how to almost just apply the different things appropriately, and like how you do it, like to get better. So like learning how to work with the paints, learning how to see like color variation and how to do like dimensions with the paint, as opposed to just like slapping it on there and just being like, I'm turning it less as a paint by numbers thing and more into like, I'm trying to create like a vision for these models. So, and it's like a different way of seeing. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So like a thematic, and also like just like a stylistically, so that like, it's not just like, oh, I've painted a leg and I've painted a shoulder and I've painted an arm. It's that I'm like, I take it as the whole thing, and I'm like, well, there's going to be highlights over here, and I want to draw the attention to these places. And it's like all of those things that like you start to learn to look for as you start to get better. So like, once you get past the point where you can apply paint to the model, you then go, well, how can I apply it better? Or what can I do to make the result look cooler to me? You know? And at the end of the day, it's like, that's what I want to do, is I want to try to make it look cooler for me, and then hopefully other people too.
So I think that a lot of like one of the things that really helps you get there too is once you have an army or two painted, you're like, oh, good. I'm not just needing to get it painted to get it on the table. Now this new army, there's not such a rush. So you can be like, well, I'll just take my time with it and actually, you know what I mean? Like poke around with it and see if this works or what I like about that instead of just get it done.
No,
Right.
absolutely. And it was also one of those things where when I stepped back from doing as many battle reports, it opened up that time to be able to do it, because it was to the point where it's like I had to keep changing my list. I had to keep having new armies and new lists and new models and the newest things that were coming out, like get them onto the table, because that was the game. Like that was what making the battle reports was. And I didn't have the time to like sit there and like take my time. I didn't have the time or like the space to like follow the routes that like led me to where I wanted to make what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. I was kind of like I had to do these different things to keep up with the game. And once I kind of backed away from doing the battle reports, and all of a sudden I had the ability to just be there, able to just like do what I wanted to do. Suddenly I was able to like paint individual models for armies that I don't run. Like I didn't need it to be an army project. I just wanted to paint like a cool model. And I was able to just do that because I had the time to be able to do that. And I would make a video about that, or something like this, where it's like, if I was making content for a battle report, I would have already had to have a battle report out. Like I had at least like an extra space of time extra space of time. I had like an extra couple of weeks that I could actually like put into effort to make these guys look cooler, so that when I show up to Adepticon with them, I can show up and show out with where I've gotten to. And I didn't just like, I just didn't do it just to get them on the table as quick as possible. I did it in a way that I felt was good, and finding that like that level of like got to get it done, but also make them look cool is an interesting one. So.
Oh yeah, we understand the stress of it. We haven't done battle reports for years, but it's part of. I mean, when we were doing them, it was all right. Well, this next one has to be different than the one before, so got to paint new things, got to build and paint new terrain, got to do all that for every new one that comes out, and especially because at the time we had a very small meta, so we were kind of providing most of the stuff we were filming. So it's a rush. It was nothing but tabletop quality for quite a while.
Yeah.
Right. That was a challenge. And then you're just not having to meet just the 3 color minimum or whatever for the tournament. Means that you can really kind of indulge in that. And it is really fun when you do bust out your stuff and they're like, wow, your army looks great. And you're like, thanks. And most of the time I'm like, oh, thanks, my friend painted it. But I think some of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because I know that we met in person in 2019 at the opening of that, but the first time I had seen you was your battle reports with the doing the War Machine battle reports. That was like the first time I remember seeing that. And that was like some of the, like as I was doing my battle report, starting up like and trying to start doing my battle reports and stuff like that. That's what I was seeing that. So it was,
nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what is your channel focused on, I guess, at this point these days?
Yeah, good question. That's a question. That's kind of like a question I've been asking myself on a daily basis. But I'm focusing now more so on honestly, it's the love of the hobby is honestly what I'm focusing on. Like my painting skills are not like, they're not going to win the Golden Demon. You know what I mean? Like Sam is going to go to Adepticon and he's going to enter something in Golden Demon, and there's like a fair chance he could win like Golden Demon. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's like, you know what I mean? Like absolutely. Like his painting is just incredible. You know what I mean? So like people are going to want to see his videos on how to paint because he's that masterful skilled painter. You know what I mean? I'm pretty good. You know what I mean? Like if you show up with like the models that I paint, I can hold my own. Like I show up to a game and everyone's like, oh, that's cool. Your army looks great. And it's like, thank you. Like that's the level I'm at. Like, no, like, the company isn't going to go, like a company is not going to be like, you, sir, are like the ultimate champion. Here's like a weapon. You know what I mean? So like that's, you
tried to hold that Warhammer. It's absurd.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. But what I can do is I can be, engage with people, and I can talk to people like with my experience, because I am a geek. Like I'm a
what are you talking about?
warrior. Exactly. It's like, it's in the name. You know what I mean?
He's a geek of the glacial variety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that made way more sense when I lived in Alaska, because there are definitely
there's more glaciers in Alaska than there are in
down here in Atlanta. Exactly. Atlanta. Yeah. Far fewer glaciers down here than there were back there, up there. But yeah, it's like that is my experience. That's what I do, and I love the hobby, and I love what I'm doing, and what I can do is I feel like what I bring with my videos and the things I do is that kind of love of the hobby, love of what it is that I'm doing, and I make it so that, because there's this tendency that people get where it's like, well, if I'm not painting to a Golden Demon quality, what's the point of painting? Or if I'm not playing to win LVO, what's the point of playing? And it's like that. There's literally one.
Hobby, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
There's one person that wins LVO. There's one person that wins the Slayer sword at Golden Demon. Like, other than that, it's just you're having fun, and that's what it should be.
Hopefully you're having fun.
Exactly.
Because if you have a miserable experience because you didn't win the thing, then you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, if you're not having fun, then it's not a hobby anymore, and it's not doing what it should do, because it should be fun. It should be something that you want to do, and that brings joy to your life, that brings joy to what it is that you're doing. And I want to be able to bring that to other people, so that I can bring that excitement. I can bring that understanding of just the fun, and make it a thing that people can want to do. So that's kind of what it is. And I like I'll do painting videos, but instead of being like, oh, and then I put this brush stroke over here, because I don't know why I did it. Honestly, I just did it, and like it that's what you get. But what I'm able to do with that is I'm able to I started to do these like stories of the models that I was painting. So like either like from their perspective, or like like I did one where I did a conversion of I basically did a warp talent, like a Nurgle warp talent that I did from like a jump pack intercessor. So I took like the jump pack intercessor, like changed out its like feet for the claws, and I put the wings from the Vespids on the back, so it looks like he's like, a Nurgle-y kind of weird thing.
Well, do you have him?
Probably. Let me go check.
He's not as organized as me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. There's some stuff around here. Got some minis over there. By the way, hi Flo. Thanks for joining the chat. I hope you're having fun with your family. And to everyone else who's joined the chat, like JP got rockets, and Heresy for Heretics.
And
love Heresy for Heretics. He's a good guy.
Thanks for Patty's Parlor over on Rumble.
Yes, thank you for being probably one viewer over on Rumble. But you know what?
I don't know if you're familiar with War Budgies, but he's a YouTube channel friend of ours who he moved. Where was he?
He was down south somewhere.
Yeah, he moved from the south to Alaska.
Like
oh, okay.
So you guys need to swap names now.
Yeah, so he was part of the trade. Is what happened. Was Alaska like it's what you have to do for every wargamer that leaves Alaska, you have to send another one back up there. So
Alaskan exchange gamer.
Exactly, that's what it was. So, but yeah, here's the guy. So you can see him.
Solo, you here?
Oh, sure.
There we go.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's just like
so backlit.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's fine.
I don't know. There's nothing I can do.
No, you're good. You're good.
Over here, he's not backlit, but he's also very tiny.
That's about what I would see him at when I'm playing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's like, I got the
best like his wings. Those are great.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it worked out pretty well.
Really fantastic.
Yeah, and I was pretty happy with how he turned out, and also like the paint job and whatever it is not the kind of thing that you necessarily have like a super interest in understanding. But I told like a cool, like my video where I did him and built him and painted him, I just told like this cool story of like the perspective of like a guardsman as they like ran into their lines and like tore people apart and did all these different things. And it's like, that was fun, you know what I mean, to me. And it's like, I love exploring like all the different avenues that this hobby has, because it's got, you could be into the lore, you could be into the painting, you could be into the hobby and like building and conversions, or you could be into the gaming itself, or you could be into all of it like I am, and just like feel like where that energy is and where it is, because that's what it's supposed to do. Like, to me, a hobby is meant to be something that brings energy and joy into your life. And if you're not allowing yourself to like follow those roots, because you think that there's a certain way that you're supposed to hobby or a certain way that you're supposed to enjoy wargaming, then you're holding yourself back and you're not letting yourself like do as much as you wanted to enjoy. So
have you personally run into much of that, of someone telling you how to enjoy the hobby?
Oh yeah, I mean, I get it in my comments all the time where they're like,
oh yeah,
where it's like, where it's like, oh well, yeah, like when I mean,
you'll find a jerk on the internet, but
exactly, but that's like what like, but there's that mentality where people are like, well, why would you play that list? Like that's not the meta list, and it's like, I had fun, I played a game, and we laughed and had a good time, and that's what it was. Like I wasn't trying to win LVO on my channel because it's impossible. Like nobody wins. No one has ever won anything of value on my channel. Well,
like, oh no, it's great. Like the one thing that a lot of people don't realize is how many rules everyone misses. The moment you play a game on the internet, then suddenly you're like, oh my God, I missed so much. And everyone tells you all about it.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's like, and my whole thing was like, if you had thousands of people watching your games and the ability to pause your game and look things up on the book, you'd be surprised with how many rules that you also got wrong. Yep. You know what I mean? Like that's like, I guarantee you that at every tournament that's played, someone's getting rules wrong. That's just like, it just happens. You know what I mean?
It's natural. The TOs will get calls wrong because they'll mismeasure something. Gosh,
because there's a buttload of rules and things happen and they change. And it's just like, that's just the reality of what it is. Like we aren't playing chess. We're playing this like very complex game with 1,000 different armies, with 1,000 different units. And like as Heresy says, you're having fun wrong. It's like just like go and have fun. And at the end of the day, if you are going to have fun, then you can't lose. That's my thought process on it. You know what I mean? And if like, I get told like, oh, you painted your Raven Wing wrong, is because I painted them green instead of black. And I'm like, cool. Well, mine are green because I like green better than black on the bikes. And that's why I did it, because they're my bikes and I don't care. You know what I mean? And it's like, because it's like, why would I restrain myself to paint a certain way just because just like they're my plastic dolls. Like I want to paint my plastic dolls the way I want my plastic dolls to look. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to.
Things you specifically paid for and spent the time to make and assemble and to, get ready.
Yeah, exactly. Or like this guy, this is not the official model. You know what I mean? Like technically he's probably bigger than the other model, than the official model. And he wouldn't be like technically rules oriented. So like, why would you spend the time to build him when he doesn't do anything different? It's like, because it was fun and it was cool. And it's like, that's the same thing where it's like, why do I care about the lore if it's not going to help me win, win the crown of best wargamer? And it's like,
well, because it's interesting. I don't like that guy very much anymore.
Yeah,
I take my compliments back. I didn't realize you were cheating.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Modeling for advantage.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Although being seen at all in 40K is hardly an advantage.
Exactly. It's like I'm actually like modeling for disadvantage. So it's like, there would be people be like, why would you do that if you're gonna, you're putting yourself in a bad position? It's like, okay, like I get it. Like to me, I'm trying to have fun. Like I go into every tournament and every game that I play wanting to win. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that you ever truly enter into a game wanting to lose, because that's like part of it is that it's a competition. You're like having a competition with you and the person you're playing against. And the idea is that you're both going to try to win. Like, cause otherwise it doesn't, like, it's not a game. You know what I mean? Like if you're talking to like on a lot of forums, you would watch a lot of the kind of the hardcore tournament players would bring up rules and talk, and they would kind of refer to a lot of the casual players like, well, they don't care about winning, so they can do this. And it's like, well, we all care about winning. It's like we would all like to win, or you know what I mean? It's like, I don't put my models on the table to scoop them back up and lose. Like,
right? I'm like, I'm not here to literally be your punching bag. I should have a slog fest here.
No, exactly. Like when I go into a game, I try to win. Like I don't always win, because that's just the reality. Like there's not a single player that has won every single game of 40K that they've ever played. Even the person who wins LVO hasn't won every game of 40K they've played. I mean, other than
that's just the reality. Worth pointing out. Yeah, well, it's people who are playing all the meta lists probably lose with them most of the time too.
Exactly, they lose a lot
that list on the internet doesn't mean you know how to play it.
Yeah, exactly. And like to me, having fun. If like your goal is to have fun, you're not going to lose, because you're going to have fun. You know what I mean? And you can
If
always
that's
try.
the
You can always
goal.
try to make exactly. That should be the goal. Is you should go to have fun.
Are you
and
telling
try to
people
win.
how to have fun in their hobby?
That's true. That's true. I guess here I am trying to tell someone that they're not having fun the right way.
But you're right. Like, I think if people, I mean, when you get together with somebody to play a game, hopefully you have an aligned goal with whatever that is. Because you get like the hyper sweaty people who are like, oh no, I'm going to be super cutthroat on this. I'm going to rules lawyer you. Like, let's do it. And the other person's like, me too. Man, you guys deserve each other.
Yeah.
Please.
Apparently Shivand plays the game just to troll other people.
Yeah. So
it's like, I don't even enjoy the game. I just put models on the table to make you angry.
Yeah. Which is fair. And I guarantee you can find ways to do it.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you know, the right paint job, and I've seen Siobhan's army. So yeah, I know what he means. There's a lot of like, oh my.
Yeah. And I think, and you know, and at the end of the day, like that's the whole point is that like it's a hobby and you have to do what's going to be fun for you. And like if finding like the sharpest edge of the spear point list and like trying your like the hardest is how you enjoy the game, please absolutely go and do that and have fun. You know what I mean? And find people and find your audience that wants to do that. Like don't go to like a newbie event at your local game store with your heart like and just like beat on like club a bunch of baby seals. Like that's not fair because what you have to do is you have to understand that like there are going to be people out there that want to try really hard and want to like be very cutthroat and you guys can have fun doing that. But it's all about understanding what it is that brings you joy and what it is that and it requires a level of like self-reflectiveness and self-awareness and self-reflectiveness that I don't think people emphasize enough because it becomes very easy to just like ignore it and like pretend like you know what's supposed to do without actually looking at it. And you're like, well, I guess that what I'm supposed to do is want to have a 2,000 point army that I can bring to tournaments when in fact, maybe what you want to do is you just want to paint a unit of this army, a unit of that army, and you just enjoy collecting cool looking models and you like reading the stories about them in the books and you like talking with people on the internet about it. And you don't actually care about having a 2,000 point army, in which case maybe you don't go out and buy 3 boxes of that unit that you think looks ugly and you don't want to have, but is also really good and is going to like give you a better chance. You don't need to do that. And you save yourself some money. Exactly. Like if you have that like self-reflection, you can save yourself money, save yourself time, and save yourself aggravation so that you can be focused on things that actually bring you the joy that a hobby should.
And save yourself a pile of shame.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing the game has different aspects too, because it's like, oh yeah, I've done tournaments, I've been in GTs. I really love team games. That's a lot of fun. Like you're like, I don't know, I've got 1,000 points. You've got 1,000 points. Let's do this. And then you just generally have a pretty casual game because it's not going to be that crunchy. So those have always been really wonderful. But I mean, it really depends, like you said, on what it is you're getting out of it. Because with the early War Machine tournament, or not tournament, but the early War Machine meta that I would generally see is that you'd have new players come in and they didn't know what experience they were looking for in the game. They just thought the models were cool. And so they're like, okay, well, I'll just learn the game. And usually they'd be taught by being clubbed like a baby seal over and over until they're like, I don't think this is for me. I'm just not going to come back anymore. And it's like, man, you didn't get to know about the fun hobby aspects. You didn't hear about the really cool lore.
But it's like so many of them too were not, it's not like I'm going to go post on the forums or I'm going to go no, they just quietly disappear and just go do something else, you know? And it's like, there's an opportunity for a player in your meta that now is gone now you don't have that. And who knows, a year and a half from now, maybe they actually would be a really solid player just from pushing models around and having fun. But no, you had to just like go after them like a spider monkey, like right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's like if someone like was trying to take up hockey for the first time and they went to the first practice and all they were doing was just getting cross-checked over and over again for like the entire first practice. They're not coming back for practice number 2. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to. It doesn't matter. Yeah, well, I guess so, maybe. You know, again, here I am telling people how to enjoy themselves. But like, you know, like they're probably, unless they are have a certain proclivity, they're probably
I was
not
just
coming
trying
back.
to get weird about it.
Oh, well, there we go. I guess maybe I did. There we go. Someone got weird about it. It was either you or me. Who knows? But like,
no, that was Did you ever play Dan Medwin? from Mini Wargaming. He was there way early, so I don't know if you ever got a chance.
Yeah,
Does he have the black beard? I don't think I ever.
Yeah,
yes,
he has
yes,
the
yes,
beard.
Yeah. I never got to play him, but I know of him.
He's
I do
like
remember.
a savant. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, he's like the weird list guy, and he'll just put something together, and everyone's like, "What the hell is this?" And then he'll stomp them with it, and they're like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
No, he was. It's funny because his story is actually the other way around because he's learning to play War Machine from Owen. Okay. And so, like, Owen basically put his toughest army down and just beat him, I think, 10 times in a row. Yeah. And that was in one day. He was just like, all right, set him back up again. Let's go again. He's like, I've never played this game before, and this is how I'm going to learn it. It's like, all right.
And you're right. Like, there are certain people that, like, that's how they get better. But
those
he entered into that
understanding.
That's true.
Jeremy Dan weirdos.
That's very important.
Yeah, but he also entered into that with like a understanding of wargaming, an understanding of what it was that he was trying to achieve. He didn't just show up and be like, "Hey, my mom got me these cool models for Christmas. Can we play a game?" And then being like beat over the head 1,000 times by like a medalist. Like, that's not like that. Like that. Like, essentially what it comes down to.
Experience is the phrase.
Very negative play. Exactly.
And also, he's a weirdo.
I
just want to say.
I miss your stupid face. Hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Probably off hiking in the mountains and flip-flops somewhere right now.
I know, right?
But anyway, no, I think that it can be a challenge, though, for new hobbyists, especially since most of them are going to be dudes, to come into a hobby space and they're like, yeah, I want to learn how to play this game. I don't think anybody wants to go in being like, and can you take it easy on me? Like, I don't know that is.
It's up to the experienced player to just know to do it. It's not up to the new player to be like, take it easy on me, guys, you know?
Yeah. Right. So that would be like a certain almost social responsibility especially if you're like a really good player. And generally I've found that the really good players of games are that way. Like, it's usually the ones who are mid that will be like hard.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Some of the best games that I've ever had have been me getting my ass kicked by like one of the top players in at the tournament, and they're just there to win, but they're also there to have fun doing it. Like they don't get joy out of destroying their opponent. They get joy out of trying hard and winning. You know what I mean? And playing the game. And that's what and that's kind of that's why part of the reason I kind of want to try to do what I do with my channel, with like expressing this joy and expressing like the need for this like self-reflection and pushing for people to really take one step back for one moment and think about what it is that you're looking for and think about what it is that you are trying to find the joy, is because you're right that there is this innate thing where it's like, oh, well, this is the way I'm supposed to do it, right? And it's like, not necessarily, you know what I mean? And or like, you don't want to go in there and be like, hey, I'm really new, I haven't played this game before, can we just like have a really casual kind of just like learning game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, someone do me a favor is kind of like,
do me a exactly. And exactly. And it's like understanding that is necessary for you to eventually get to a place that you're gonna have like find the fun, takes away some of the sting, where it's like, also understanding that every single person that has played a war game had to play their first war game, had to play their first game. Every single person had to pick up the dice for the first time, had to put a model on the table for the first time, had to like learn a rule for the first time. Every single person. It doesn't matter if they're winning LVO right now. It doesn't matter if they're running like a massive like narrative campaign. It doesn't matter if they've got 1,000 models painted. Every single gamer started from nothing, because you have to, like, no one's born with a tournament experience, like that's just like
born the 10th edition code like rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe your mom was pregnant with you at a tournament and you like learned by osmosis through the womb. Somehow. But that feels like not possible.
Out of date by the time you're born.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, even they are out of date with their rules. So
you're just the Tiger Woods of tabletop miniature games.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
No, I think the good top tier players, I think they have fun by beating other top tier players.
Exactly.
And whenever they come across people that are like, like, hey, I'm just kind of middle of the pack. I just enjoy the game. Like, I don't think for a lot of them, I don't think it's that fun.
Yeah.
Being like, I'm going to stomp you. It's like, well,
No,
that wasn't
exactly.
a challenge, right?
No, like they're going to do what they have to win because they need to continue on in the tournament, but they're not going to like take pleasure in just like whomping on you. Like,
yeah,
well, it doesn't even
like
help them
everyone
get better. They kind of would like to show you how to get better so you can more accurately or more effectively practice against someone.
Yeah, they
need
exactly.
people to get better around them.
They need people to keep coming to tournaments.
Yeah,
well, exactly.
It's why the Predator doesn't kill people who are unarmed. You know, he only fights people who are like the challenge. You know, like see, that's why at the end of the movie he dropped his gun and his knives because he's like, okay, I finally found someone who's good, and there you are.
Yeah.
And so if you're an actual top tournament player, then you're a Predator. But
that seems like an accusation that could maybe we don't need to be making it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's a what is it, a Yagua or what's the name for? There's an actual name. I never know what it is.
I imagine Paul will know this in like 4 seconds, but
yes, help us out, Paul, quick.
The actual name. So with that said, what is the Phil Yuata? Yeah. What is the Phil?
Are we sure? Wait, one second. Are we sure that he was actually answering that, or did he pass out onto the keyboard? Because I think that the same response comes from both. Or maybe that's how it got its name. Was the writers of Predator were just like smack the keyboard and they're like, we're going with it. We're not changing it.
So done. Got it.
It was cat.
Yeah. Yeah. It was written before autocorrect, so it just stayed on there.
Right. But yeah, where did you get your start in wargaming? How long have you been doing it? Were you a kid? Were you an adult?
So my first experience with Warhammer was when I was like in my tweens, like early teens, and I was visiting my cousin over in England, and his friend was doing Warhammer, and he was like, oh, like, let me show you this stuff. And I was like, this is so cool. Those models are so cool. There's a game with this. I want to do it. So I was like, went to my parents and I was like, I really want to do this. And my parents were like, all right, well, you can get one kit. And I was like, done. So I got the kit, and then we went home, and I was like, I'm going to spend all of my money at the Warhammer store. And I'm going to buy like whatever stuff it was. I was like, anything that's human.
How old?
Like 11 or 13, like something like a 13 or something like that. Like very young. Yeah. Yeah, it's very little. So I bought basically I had no idea of what like an actual army was. I just bought things that were cool. So I had like Space Wolf Terminators. I had like Stormtroopers. I had like different guardsmen and all this different stuff, like tons of like random stuff. And I was like, this is so great. And I started building and painting them. That's where I had the melty cowmen that I was doing. But none of my friends wanted to get into it. They were like, nah, I can't. I'm not doing that. And I was like, okay. So that lasted.
All the girls you knew, I'm sure they were. Never mind.
Yeah. If you think that I knew a ton of girls back in like when I was like 13, you have not heard my origin story. So
it's funny. I just imagine you going into the game store with like a little hat with the propeller beanie, you know?
Oh yeah,
like
that's exactly what it was.
And a beard.
Yeah, I basically looked like the kid from The Sandlot, like the Catcher kid from The Sandlot, walking into this store and just being like, "Give me all of your humans," and I was like, "That's what it was." Like that's what it was. And so I did it for a bit, and then I didn't do it because if your friends at that age weren't doing a thing, you were never going to do the thing because like what you did was what your friends were doing.
Sure.
So my friends didn't want to do it. So I was like, I guess I'm not doing it. So it ended up in a box down in my parents' basement. Fast forward like many, many years later, and I'm in Alaska, and I started to work at the University of Alaska Anchorage as a photographer there. And in my cubicle, I had some bobbleheads, like some Marvel bobbleheads. And one of the other guys that worked there came up to me and he was like, so I noticed from your cubicle that you're a nerd. Have you ever heard about this game called Warhammer 40,000? And I was like, oh, I totally know about it. I tried to do it as a kid and like never really got into it. And he's like, well, would you want to play now? And I was like, I don't know. It's a lot of time and money. I'm not sure if I ever want to. He's like, tell you what, come over and we'll play a game. You can see if you like it. I was like, all right, sounds good. So I went over, played a game. And the next day I went out and bought the 6th edition starter set.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was like, once when I like a thing, I like a thing, and I like dove into it, and I started doing it like building and painting and playing. And I was a photographer. I'm a photographer by trade. So I was, doing photography and videography at my day job. And I started watching YouTube channels. And at that time, I think like mini wargaming was like one of the few. This is about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like one of the few people putting out battle reports. And there were some other channels that were doing this stuff. And I was like, I feel like I could do this, because especially at that time, it was all just people like holding the camera, like the one camera, holding it and like looking, from the top down. There was no like, giant setups with multi-cams and like cross editing and like overlays.
Now, don't we?
Exactly. There was none of that. So I was like, I feel like I could do this because I know how to use a camera. And, so I started doing battle reports with my friend, because I was like, this would be fun. And it just kind of started to grow from there. And then I started to, develop my things like the woo and like the things like that I do. And it just kind of grew from there. So that was like 10 years ago. I was doing, videos and battle reports. And then, it kind of went all over the place doing Kill Team. And then I think at one point I was doing like 3 battle reports a week. It was like 3 videos a week. It was like burning myself out. It was nuts. Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. Like, and unsustainable. Like it would just like, it burnt me out. And then I eventually started to realize that I was enjoying other aspects of the hobby, not just the gaming part. You know what I mean? I still love gaming. I still love going to tournaments, still love playing the game and doing all this stuff. But I realized that like the grind of trying to do battle reports all the time, especially as a one-man band, because it was just me. I didn't have like a team. I didn't have any other one else. It was just me, like hoping for the goodwill of others to build and paint an army. And it's like, if they decide that they like don't feel like it this week, then I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what to do, because I still need to do a video. You know what I mean? Or if the game starts to go like south for them and they start to get a little salty, it's like, people don't want to watch salt. They get enough of that at their game store. Like, they don't need that in a video, like or if you're going to have the salt, it better be like a salt mine. Like you gotta like turn it to 11. You know what I mean?
Do the Hollywood thing.
Exactly. You gotta be like, exactly. You gotta be ridiculous and like ridiculous over like,
that's wargamers are never ridiculous. So.
No, not at all. We don't have huge personalities and doing all that stuff, because that never plays well on YouTube.
No.
So if they're losing, like they're just like starting to get sullen, and like I'm like, okay, well now I need to like carry the game and like carry this so that it becomes something. Turn around, like, and keep it going so that like I can get a video that's worth putting up and that people will want to watch, and they're not just gonna be like, all right, well that was boring. You know what I mean? So like it became a lot to do that as a one-man band. And then there were other channels that started to come out and start to do it, like like Play on Tabletop, like with their huge production stuff, whole team of people doing it. And then you even had like Tabletop Tactics, or like Tabletop Titans. Like they have like these big setups, and they're like multi-people teams that are like doing all these things. And it got to the point where I was like, I can't do what's kind of like expected in the battle report realm anymore. Like I wasn't going to be able to do that on a one-to-one basis. So I was like,
we ran into that years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it comes down to. It's like you sit back and you're like, I can't feel like I don't know how like like they're amazing to watch and see, but it got to the point where I was like, I couldn't do it myself, and I couldn't keep up with the Joneses when it came to battle reports. So I was like, I need to do shift. That self-reflection. Yeah, shift and do that self-reflection that I was, talking about, and like actually, like take my own medicine and like think about what it is that I wanted to do to be fun. And then like realize that people were not turning to my channel, even when I was doing the battle reports, for my elite gaming skills. Like they weren't trying to learn the tactics that are going to win them LVO. And they weren't trying, like they were turning for me and my personality. And I was like, well, I can be me doing things that aren't just playing the game. So that's when it like grew into the other aspects, like the painting and the hobbying and like talking about different subjects that like, cause as you can see, I can talk. I can talk a whole lot. Yeah. As you may have noticed, I talk a lot, and I'm pretty good at that. And I keep a smile on my face because I'm talking about something that I enjoy and that I feel passion for. And like, that's what people were turning
You're on
to
the right
me.
show then, because that's kind of what we do.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
We hang out and talk about what makes us happy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's great. That's like, I mean, that's to me, that is the hobby. Like that is the hobby to me. Like winning awards, winning these things. Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Talk about your game more than you're going to be actively playing usually.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's yeah, it's just like that was kind of like the progression for me was like, you know, going from like I've always been a nerd, and then like specifically a wargaming nerd like came after many progressions.
Later.
So,
came when it was allowed to blossom. What
exactly.
was the first army again? Because you said you picked up the 6th edition box set. Which army?
Starter set, the Dark Angels.
Angels. Okay.
Yeah, so that became my. They're still my first love. Yes, Sparks Marines. Like
that was actually
like
my first army as well back in the 90s.
Nice. Yeah, they're just awesome. I love.
They're
Dark
cool looking.
Yeah, they look cool. They've got great lore. I really like green, really so it was like it hit all of the peaks that I needed. Also really like Terminators, and they like them too. So it was like, you know, hit all the like the peaks that I was looking for in an army, and that's kind of the way they've gone. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
JP brings up an interesting point, and this is something Tommy and I have talked a lot about with production quality. He's like, 2 things that turn me off to a channel: really bad production, which for the most part, as far as I can tell, just means bad sound.
Audio,
so you can put up a lot. Bad sound,
yeah.
no. But then overly slick production, because I think with the era of YouTube and the era of AI, I think people want something that just feels real.
Yeah.
Authenticity. Yeah. What is it? I think Elon Musk had said it a while back, but it's like authenticity is kind of the new currency of the internet, since there's so many bots and so many like things, especially with AI coming out. It's like, nope, we just want real. We want real people with real opinions, real thoughts, real personalities. That's what we want, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I think you're right. I think it's the personalities that end up being the thing, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, like the personality is like Phil the Glacial Geek isn't like, you turn to me because of me, you know what I mean? Like you don't turn to me because of anything else that I do, because it's like I'm mid at best. So
no, we were running.
You're doing a great job selling yourself. Too, so please keep going. My goodness. Yeah.
Please subscribe to this mid dude.
The little tag under your name. You need to apply it now. It just says mid.
Yeah.
It's just
Phil the mid geek is what I'm going to be now from now on. Yeah.
No, but we were running into that too, where we were. I mean, you saw our earlier battle reports, but we came from filmmaking, right? Yeah. When we were getting into 40K, we just moved back to Albuquerque, and it was kind of this sort of like, man, I want to be filming and recording, and you know, it's just like I want to be doing stuff, but we just moved back here. I don't really know anyone. We're not doing anything, and I was like, you know, I watched a few battle reports when I was getting back into 40K, and I was like, oh, I bet we could do those. And then we ended up playing War Machine. That was the game we were just starting to hop into, so we started just putting it all around that. But as a lot of people know, especially 2nd edition War Machine was cutthroat, and so it looked like a casual game at first, and Miranda was pretty solid at it, but we weren't like, you know, meta shaping and bleeding edge or anything,
traveling to tournaments or anything either.
And it was
you weren't the War Machine.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny too, because like I think at one point our videos are probably like the highest viewed for War Machine, and our meta was like 8 people total. You know, like we had this tiny, like a lot of people would just assume like, oh my gosh, must be like a War Machine mecca around there. And it's like, yeah, no, not really. Yeah. And so we were doing a lot of, you know, shots, a lot of camera angles. I had done editing for years. And so it was like, I was putting it all into the edit and things like that. And, you know, it got to be this kind of like shorthand where for a lot of War Machine players, if you click on a battle report and it's not that one lockdown camera that's looking at the table so you can see the exact strategies, they would just pass.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh wow. And it was like, no, that's the format of the cutthroat player. Whereas the stuff we're doing, well, that's just playing around for fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. It's a game.
Yeah. And it's like, no, go on. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, Paul was also pointing out with some of the other channels out there, such as ones that may cover lore, you're getting ChatGPT scripts, you're getting AI voices, which is obvious when things are not pronounced correctly, which is usually the telltale.
We just watched just passively, and I love The Fifth Element. It's one of my favorite movies. And it's like, oh, there's this little video here. It's like a 30-minute video on the making of it. It's like, oh, I haven't seen that. What is it? I clicked on it, and you're like, okay, I think this is the AI voice. And then you can really start telling whenever they were talking about filming on the 007 studios in England. It's like, you mean the 007 studios? Like, just so many simple things. You're like, yeah, this is just kind of an auto-generated thing. Never mind.
Yeah. And it sucks because it feels like that really it fills up the internet, and it's what the algorithms are it's what it's designed for, I guess. So you end up coming across them a lot. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Good comment.
Yeah. Heresy, he had me go on one of his videos. He has an awesome channel, by the way. If you guys want to go check like awesome painting, Heresy for Heretics, amazing painter, amazing stuff. So
real quick, so just to comment on it. Flo is visiting family tonight, so no Flo for painting.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's a good. So he had me on one of his videos, giving what I thought were the definition of Australian words. It was pretty funny. I had some of them because I had the knowledge I had from like having a British father where there was like some overlap, but
a little bit.
Some of it I was like,
point out like whatever. That's where we send our prisoners anyway. Like
I there were some words I got, some I didn't. So I feel like I did an okay job, but yeah, there were definitely words where I was like, I feel like I got a better definition. So, but yeah, awesome guy. Go check his channel. So,
nice.
What's it called? Awesome Painting?
No. He's an awesome painter. It's Heresy for Heretics. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's just his channel.
Yeah, there you go. Heresy for Heretics. That's him.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. He's really, really, really good. Love his stuff. So, and he's also a really great guy. So, yeah, give a shout out to that.
There you go. There, that tells you more.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay, so fair enough. Yeah. Very, very happy for you. Robert had a question up here earlier too. Just joining. Have any of you ever picked a faction in 40K just based on how the models look? I like Necrons and Tau just based on how the models look. Have never played 40K. I suspect there are more people who do that than play the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think, to me that is like, especially if you're just starting, that is probably the best way to get into wargaming, because what it'll do is, if you have models that you think are cool, you're going to be far more likely to want to build them, far more likely to want to paint them, and then once you have them built and painted, you can play a game. You know what I mean? And if you decide that the game mechanics and play isn't what you like, you can then have because you can't
still have models you like.
Yeah, exactly. You have models that you think are cool, and you're still going to want to do it more, and you can't know what kind of like mechanics you want to play until you've actually played.
Yeah, and, you kind of just need to get in there and do it.
You kind of just got to get in there and try it. So the first army should be one that you think is like aesthetically pleasing or lore based pleasing, to like keep you wanting to keep going through that like learning curve of like figuring out what it is that wargaming is. So,
but what if thank you, Flo, I snatched those up actually. What do you do then if you have picked a faction, you're like, man, these models look amazing, like they really live up to the kind of this fantasy. I like hate the way they play. It's awful, it's fiddly, it's horrible. What is like the next course faction? And I also dovetail that into, do you recommend using Tabletop Simulator, and have you ever used it?
So I've used Tabletop Simulator before, and I imagine it may have gotten better since, because I first used it during like the lockdown times, because I was like, I need a fix. I need to I need my wargaming fix. And it was like, I started to do Tabletop Simulator. And when I first started using it, I kept trying to move a squad, and it would clip the terrain as I was moving it, and they would just like fly all over the place. And it got to the point where I was like, I can't, like, it just like, it was like, to me, it was just like too much fiddly computer stuff that I couldn't do it. And I couldn't, it wasn't fun for me, because I ended up focusing too much mentally on like my models not doing physically what I wanted them to do.
Yeah.
To enjoy the actual game itself. So, Yeah. So, but
part of the tabletop simulator argument is you can test armies, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's yes. And I think that if it's an excellent way to try out new armies. I do believe that your first army should be one that you think is aesthetically pleasing or lore interesting to you, because you're going to get into like the actual physical action of a war game. Like you're going to buy models, you're going to build models, you're going to paint models. And you're only going to want to do that if they're models that you want to build and paint. Like if you're like, oh, well, this army is like, seems like it would be fun, but I just have no interest in like learning how to do the physical activity of building and painting models. Like you're not going to be as motivated to do that. After you've got that first, like,
commission it.
Yeah, equally. Yeah, you could do that too. But after like you have that first 500-point army that you got a chance to like play a game with like some friends at the game store, or like in, and you realize, no, this is like super fiddly. This is too much for me. Then you can start to do things like tabletop simulator, figure out mechanics, or look into like because then you can understand like, why didn't you like it? Did you not like it because there was too many models? Did you not like it because like they just died too fast? Or did you not like it because there were too few models? Like you wanted more.
Stop describing my experience with Guard.
Yeah, well, that was my experience with Genestealer Cult, because I was like, these models are just aesthetically amazing, like the lore behind them so cool, like that, like the people's uprising and then being eaten by the Tyranids, like so cool.
That's what you get for uprising.
Exactly, and such cool looking models. And then I went to Nova with them for the GT at Nova, and I had a 2,000-point army of them, and I played 7 games over the course of the weekend with 126 models in this list. And my brain
on a 3-hour clock.
Yeah, exactly. And my brain was just oatmeal, like flowing out my ears by the end of the weekend. And it got to the point where I was like, that's it. I'm playing knights for the rest of this year, because I can't. Give me 5 models. Like that's all I can do.
And just like that, there's 13 more dogs.
Exactly. Yeah. Except I was like, I'm just only going to take like big stompy ones because I want 5 models, and that's all I can handle now because my brain is melted and I need to grow it back. That's what it came down to. So like I was like,
math. Oh.
Exactly. So I was like, I came to the realization I can't do horde armies because of that, because it's just like I realized that like once you get past a certain number of models on this army list, I'm gonna go insane. So but I wouldn't know that until I tried it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's kind of the way it comes down to.
You had a fun experience with that, with your Khador infantry list and the was it hardcore tournament?
Yeah, Adepticon.
How many games did you play back to back in one day?
I don't remember.
It was like 7
2 days though. I don't. Was it a 1 day or 2 day tournament? I don't remember.
It was 1 day.
It was 10 hours. So
yeah.
And by the end of that, I had such a straight, like I couldn't interact with the normal world in a way that I was understanding it.
No, exactly. Yeah. So
yeah, it was bizarre.
What was it at one point? You're walking down the hallway wondering about your
if someone was gonna get a free strike on me, yeah.
Your what? I'm blanking on the term. The little ring. Yeah, your engagement range.
Yeah, no, it was absurd. But Floyd suggested selling. Have you ever sold an army? I have not been able to do that.
No, I can't let go of. I'm like a dragon. I hoard all my little plastic hoard.
Yeah.
It's like that model has not been played with in 1,000 years, but
it's your
mine.
model.
It's mine. Don't touch it. Yeah, I have a friend who would buy models to build and paint and then sell on eBay, and I was like, I can't even imagine going through the process of building and painting a model and then being like, goodbye. You know what I mean? But again, like going back to it, like that's how he had fun. That's what he enjoyed. He liked doing that.
Actually, there's a Zen idea to it, and your house isn't full. Maybe it helps with the spouse aggro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I remember watching a channel that was kind of fascinating. It's this guy who would just build orc vehicles out of plasticard and just other weird things and whatever, and just he would build one, and he's like, I know very little about orcs. I've never played a game of 40K in my life. I just kind of really enjoy building these, and I just kind of, I don't even remember if he sold them or gave them away, but that was his YouTube channel. And I was like, oh my God, like I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah. And that's then like, that's what it comes down to. So it's just, you know, finding out again, you just have to be like that self-awareness. What do you find joy?
Go out into the woods and meditate. I'm like, who am I? What am I?
Go, lock yourself in a room and just like huff a bunch of like plastic cement, and then like the spirits will come to you. The ancestors of the wargaming will come to you.
Hospital later, you're like,
you'll know. You're like, you're like, I need to do custodies.
Then there's a chubby emu video like 6 months later, like a man assembled 4,000 Warhammer miniatures, and this is what happened to his brain.
Yeah, exactly.
So JP brings up the idea of miniature agnostic games. Have you played like One Page Rules or any of the others, or are you like, I'm GW guy?
So I haven't played One Page Rules because to me, I enjoy 40K. So like I'm not looking for like a 40K
alternative.
Like alternative, exactly. Like I enjoy the rules. I think they're good, especially this edition. I've really enjoyed it a lot. And to me, I don't find the need. I don't find myself needing to do that. But that said, I have been very interested in like non GW alternatives, but that are model agnostic.
Models?
Like like model agnostic. So like Frostgrave has like really piqued my interest. Uncle Adam, he has Snarling Badger games that he does with Vince Venturella. And they have a bunch of model agnostic games that are like super cool.
Majestic 13. What's the other one?
Death Wizards is was one of their latest ones. Yeah, they Reign in Hell. Yeah, Reign in Hell. Like it's awesome. Like in Death Wizards, it's like you play the necromancer who's fighting against like the typical heroes in like, you know, so you're going to be fighting against the paladins, against like the rangers, against like the town folk. Like you're the baddie. And that's like it's a fun, like, and it's all model agnostic. Like you can just do whatever you want with it. And like what I enjoy about that is that you can like get the models that you think look cool and build and paint them and then play with them. And that to me is
like playing an old RPG, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
were you an RPG nerd? Did you ever do the Pathfinder Dungeons and Dragons? Were you a wizard?
Yeah. So I am a tabletop RPG is like a big that's how I cut my teeth as a nerd. That's how I became like my first forays really into nerddom were with tabletop role-playing games.
So you're one of the Stranger Things kids.
No, I was a Vampire the Masquerade kid. So I was like, yeah. So that's what I did. I used to play that like every Friday and Saturday night, and I was a major role-playing nerd, and like
excellent.
That's what got me into it. And then you know, various other things that I've gotten into. So yeah, I cut my
you ever LARPed? I mean
that is Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade is LARP. Like that's early LARP.
They had the Mind's Eye Theater, which was what was like the official like Vampire the Masquerade LARP. I didn't do it. I never managed to go off and dress as a vampire and do that. But that said, I'm not like
you're still
I'm
young.
not against it. Yeah, exactly. Ish.
Albuquerque in the 90s was filled with vampire LARPers everywhere.
I could see it.
Like,
I could see it. I could see it. Yeah.
I know it's kind of boring stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I cut my teeth in. And I for a long time I hadn't done role playing because I moved away from my friends in New York and then like when I was in Alaska, I did a lot of role playing there too. And then when I moved from there, I kind of didn't do it for a while. Then during the pandemic, when all my friends' games went online, they were like, well, you can come do it now because you're online as well. And I was doing a bunch of role playing during the pandemic. And then I wasn't doing much of it at all. But then to throw this back to Nova, I was at Nova last year and at the creator mixer that they had, I was there and I met some awesome people from this podcast called Roleplay Rejects. And they are amazing people, and they have an awesome podcast thrown out again. Like I'm just like dropping all these like things you got to check out.
Oh yeah, toss them out.
Yeah, so they're awesome people, and we started talking, and we wanted to do a collaboration. And they had me come on, and we've been doing a campaign of Imperium Maledictum, which is the 40K role playing system.
And is that the new one? Because I remember Wrath and Glory.
Yeah, Wrath and Glory is the one where you're playing like Space Marines and like the big people. Imperium Maledictum is where you're playing like a like a naval breacher, and like you're being picked up by like a patron to like sent out. So you're basically like almost like Imperial agents kind of thing, where you're like the lower level, like you're like you remember like how Marvel had like, you know, the Avengers, and then they would have like
the Defenders,
like the Defenders, and then they would have like
the street level heroes,
the street level heroes, exactly. And that's kind of what it is like the street level 40K that you're doing on it. And it was
which one is that?
That's Imperium Maledictum.
Imperium,
and
okay,
yeah, and it's put out by Cubicle 7, so the same people that now do Wrath and Glory, but it's just like a different, and it's like a D100 system as opposed to like the D6 system that Wrath and Glory is. Okay. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, awesome game, and they're awesome people. So I mean, we've seen a couple comments here from Damien. He's our DM. I don't know which one what they call it, storyteller, but he was the one that said he wants to do like he's like one of these days I'll figure out figure out how to do GSC, because he loves Gene Stealer cults. But he's been the one that's been running our, there he is. So yes, he's been game master. There we go. So that's what I never know what, like, every game seems to like choose what they have as their like the person who's running it. But he's been running it, doing an amazing job.
Everyone's a dungeon master.
Yeah, everyone's
that's fair. Yeah, exactly. My go-to is always storyteller, because that's what the Vampire the
Masquerade was.
Yeah, was the storyteller. So that's I always go to that.
White Wolf.
Exactly. The old White Wolf stuff. Yeah, I was like 2nd edition Vampire the Masquerade, so it's like a long time ago was my thing. So back when I used to have to like dodge dinosaurs to go role playing, kind of thing, you know. But he's been running it. Dodge dinosaurs is in like I'm old enough to be.
Isn't he's old enough
to
dinosaurs?
Yeah.
I know phrases.
I mean, I made that one up, but yeah, you know.
No, I have an idea. I mean, Vampire's huge in the 90s. Like,
yeah,
I remember selling it at War Games West whenever I worked there in the mid 90s, and so it was real big then. Yeah,
but it was it was a lot of, I love doing Vampire. But yeah, this Imperial Maledictum, ton of fun, and we're having, so you can go listen to, if you haven't grown tired of hearing my voice, you can go listen to some of the podcast, because it's been a lot of fun, and he's doing a great job of running an awesome story, and the other people on the podcast are great people, and it's awesome. So, but they got me back into doing, you know, role playing on a regular basis, and it's been amazing. So and yeah, we have a video. Sorry, here you go. I keep needing people to tell me what I'm doing. I did a video where I built where I kit bashed and painted all of the main characters from the game. And and then had them do like voiceover, like a story from their
like a monologue or something.
Exactly, a monologue about their character, and put that in there.
Fun.
So,
or in character too. They're like
some people were in character. Exactly. So it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. So definitely. Yeah, you can go check that out. The video's up on my channel, and then they've been having like I think episode 4 is out now for the podcast.
So is RPGing within the 40K space, is that gaming or is that lore? Where do you categorize?
Excellent question. I have no idea. I feel like it's like
things, Phil. If you don't, you're an influencer. If you don't know, you make it up.
Oh, that's true. It's like, well, the definitive answer is gaming. I'm gonna say, I don't know. It's because it's almost like the
maybe
best
for the game master, it's the game, but for the players, they're kind of just do whatever.
Yeah, you're doing your thing. I do get to roll dice, which anytime I get to roll dice is like, to me,
Damien.
There you go.
An answer. Come on, Phil.
Exactly. Yeah. Is it gaming or is it lore? Yes. Yeah, it's fun. Like I love anything where I get to roll dice. So that's like so
are you like at the casino when LV?
No, because I also don't like, if I'm gonna lose, I'd rather just go and like buy like a giant frozen alcoholic beverage, because at least then I can actually get something with my money that I'm gonna be throwing into Vegas. So
yeah, if he's gonna be throwing money away, he wants plastic in return.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if I can't have that on my shelf for decades to come, I don't want to be spending money on it. So yeah, but it's to me, I love all aspects of the hobby. So I love, like, from the wargaming perspective, I love gaming, I love rolling dice, I love storytelling, I love reading stories and hearing stories, and I love like kit bashing and like telling stories with what I'm doing. So it's like it feels like these are all aspects like, I don't think I would want to do just one of them. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I love doing all of it. So like, I want to listen to like a 40K book on Audible. I want to be able to go and build and paint models. I want to be able to go and game at a tournament. I want to do like role-playing games where I can tell my own story, you know, with other people and have fun doing that. And
so what you're saying is you have a well-rounded gaming diet.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, yeah, it's like well-rounded. Yeah, a well-rounded diet of nerddom. So
fun fact, JP, original chess did have dice.
Yes, a long time ago.
Long time ago. So we can bring it back. You're in game design, make it happen.
And then they had a rules errata and took out.
Then they had errata. Yeah, people kept losing their dice, dying in wars. It's just lame excuses. So
turns out weighted dice were easier to make, like back in the medieval age. You know?
Yeah, their march errata took out the dice, and then they just went from there.
Your personality type definitely seems to be like, I'm all in, like 100% commitment to all aspects. So it seems like you sort of enjoy all aspects of the hobby concurrently.
Yes.
Generally, I think maybe, I don't know if this is for most people, this is certainly for me. I'll sort of enjoy one aspect at a time where I'll be like, no, I really feel like gaming. And then I'm like, I'm kind of done with this. I'm going to read some books, or I feel like painting once in a while. Like,
it's like you get burned out of one and you just slip right on over to the next one. And so you're still in the sphere of it, but you know, you're not just doing all of it at once.
No, absolutely. And I think that's absolutely valid. And again, is part of that like self-reflection where it's like, what is it that I need? Like, what is it that I want from this? You know what I mean? So like, I have times when I'm doing like all three at the same time. Like I'm building a list to go to Adepticon to play with the Emperor's Children, and I'm building the models, and I'm painting them, and I'm listening to like, I just finished listening to Hell's Last on Audible. And it was like, you know, like I'm doing literally every one of them at the exact same time. And then there are other times when I'm like
when he goes to sleep, just
exactly,
processing all the
exactly, yeah, and that's what it is. Like I'm doing all of them at the same time. And then there, like you said, there are times when I'm like, right now, I just want to paint. I just want to build and paint this cool looking model, or I just want to not do any of that and I just want to read a book, or I just want to play a game. And like that's what I need right now is to like play. And you're right, like you know, but.
So here's a real question now. Do you play Dark Tide?
No.
Or do you play video games?
Well, so for a long time, the answer was no, because my computer, my like desktop computer died. And that was what I was using to play games on. So I have a laptop that I've been able to like do my video editing on, but like I can't, like there's no way I could do gaming on it as well. It's like the laptop's like one or the other. Like what like overdriven process do you want me to do? You got one or the other, and I'm like, well, I guess I got to do videos. So I didn't have that, and I hadn't had a like a console since Xbox 360. So I was like,
probably the last time I had one.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't have anything.
That back. I will buy the new Nintendo system when there's a new Zelda.
Fair. That's fair.
And then I think you only play Zelda on it.
I just play Zelda on it. I pay $400 for Zelda game basically every 5 years.
I mean, I feel like that's worth it. Yeah, there we go. And so I didn't do it, but then my in-laws, they really wanted to get me like a nice birthday present this year. So I was like, what about like a PS5? And they're like, sure. So I was like, now I guess I play video games too. Of course, I got it like right before I embarked on this like giant Emperor's Children journey, which is like consumed every waking moment of my life. So I haven't been able to play as much as I wanted to, but I have played a few games of Monster Hunter, and I'm very bad at it, but it's fun. So like that's
Monster Hunter sucks. Play Dark Tide instead.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do.
Yeah, get on. You know that, I mean, you're back to the street level heroes again. You know, you're just
you really are. It's so hilarious.
Yeah,
so
I feel like
acting. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Dark Tide would be very much like Imperium Maledictum kind of level.
Oh my god! No,
like,
the thing that I love about
it, a little more chaotic. I feel like you get to have actual conversations in Imperium Maledictum.
No, I don't even like first person shooter type games, but I 100% just give it the pass, because when you're running around there, the art team, I mean, you feel like you're in a hive city. Like if a hive city exists, this has got to be what it looks like. And it's like, I just love running around looking at it, and so it's
cool.
a lot of fun. It's
sure.
very immersive.
You're like, what are you doing, Thomas? Why aren't you moving along? You're like looking around.
Yeah, there's a fun one where there's a guy we got into a pug group, and some guy is being a weirdo, but he just kept yammering over the chat. And we got into I forgot which one is the hourglass we were in. And there's an elevator. You got to get into an elevator and go down. And I like stopped outside of it for a second. And he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Thomas? Get it. And I was just like, hold on. I'm finding out where I go to mute you. And he was very mad the rest of the run, but I didn't care because I didn't hear a word of it. But
there
we go.
I was like, oh my God, this guy is in my head. I've got to turn this off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Fair.
It's a very fun game. It's bananas.
Oh yeah.
Space Marine 2's pretty fun. I don't think it's as fun as Dark Tide.
Ooh, okay. That's a spicy hot take right
there. That I know. Hot take. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? My Zealot, I'm pretty sure, kills just as many mobs as a Space Marine does by the end of a mission.
Holy cow! Well, did you ever play Vermintide?
Yes, I played Vermintide. I think
it is that, except like ratcheted up with even more hordes and crazy shit.
And you can make a character that looks just like you. Actually,
nice. I like it.
It's great.
So one thing I've noticed is that for some reason my face is like very easy to replicate in like caricature version.
Like a lot of the video game character creators.
Like the character creators, like, like the Mii's, like all those different like ones that I've done, they always look like shockingly like me.
Yeah.
Like I make them and I'm like, that, like people look at it, they're like, yeah, that is you. Like it just looks like you, and I don't know why. So either like either I just look like a cartoon character, or like my features are easily replicatable in cartoon form, that it was like it's weird. It's a very weird circumstance, and I'm not sure what the answer is. I might just be a cartoon for all I know.
I have a theory. I have come up with a spur of the moment theory on that. So if you would self-proclaimed earlier that you are in fact a geek and kind of a nerd, and many of your brethren, there's a certain, there can be a certain type, stereotypes or whatever for geeks and nerds who end up doing programming and making video games. And so if they're just making characters that are similar to the nerds that are making the games, then maybe there's some significant overlap.
They make the games for them. That's what it is.
Oh, so I do have beard on my neck. So that was a very nice way of calling me a neck beard, but that's cool.
Well, on that plucky note, we should probably move to the section where we pull up cool pictures of miniatures. Now, I don't know if you have any pictures, a lot of photos or anything of any miniatures you want to share, but we usually pull them off of Facebook, off of our Facebook, and kind of display them near the end of the show.
Sure. Yeah. I can do better pictures of like what the stuff that I've been doing with these guys if you want me to send you some.
Yeah.
Is it better?
Actually, to me.
Sure.
Let me.
Oh yeah, Damon's saying that. Where should I do it? Where should I send it to you? What's easiest for you?
Does it let you? No, it doesn't. You've been talking to me through Instagram, I guess that.
Sure. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that too. Yeah.
I can probably figure out how Instagram works.
Right. Damian Hamlin is shouting the Demon Prince with exclamation points. So
I will.
Apparently, you have to send that one.
Yes, I will. I will send that one over there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very pleased with him. So.
All right. So first off, we've got. I grabbed that one, Siobhan. So thank you very much for that. So first, we've got Dexter, who has been working on a wonderful board. I believe he was sharing snowboard before. This one's actually a little bit different. So he's got a few pictures of his mans around the what do you call that? Like an embankment, a bunker?
Yeah, it's not quite a trench. It's like it is like a bunker sort of.
An overtrench.
So if I say let me know in the chat, how are you making your sandbags? Because those are cool.
I made let me let me hold on. Sorry, I'm running away.
We got here, man. That's hard to say. That's really good texturing. It looks super.
Yeah, they look cool.
Like fabric, you know, it has a fibrous element.
I did like a diorama for Capital Palette this year, and I did the sandbags in there. Yeah,
he's got lasers coming out of his gun.
Exactly, he's lasers. Exactly, he's stepping on it. I keep being bad at like you think
what's
he's
the
like
phrase?
stepping
like,
on.
So I started blasting or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I did. As you can see, like here, I got the those things too. So I was just looking at his.
So how did you do? How did you do your sandbags?
Mine is I did like a roll of.
Is it green stuff they used or
no,
like a polymer putty?
No,
Sculpey?
Milliput.
That's the word. Thank you. I was giving you nothing, and you got me there. So thank you. I did like
the mind brainwaves.
I like it. It's the nerd brainwave going on here.
Yeah.
But I made like a roll of it, and then I squished the roll, and then I cut, and like it made the little squish thing, and then I put them in there. So, but yeah, that's cool.
Did you add a texture to it, or because they look textured, but I didn't get a good sense of it.
No, I just I did some with like some paint. So
okay.
I should probably try to figure out. I've seen some people they like when they flatten it out with like a piece of fabric to give like a little bit of a texture to it.
Oh yeah, you do that in normal, like in film sculpting a lot actually.
Yeah.
So this is Dexter's second image, by the way, of his man.
Yeah, I love the little cobblestone road.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's awesome. That looks great.
Including the little like bits of stuff when you don't have a weed whacker or an edger or something like that. Little weeds that grow in there. It looks like my front yard.
They hadn't sprayed it Roundup in weeks. Look at that. Just getting out of control.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that vehicle looks so cool.
Yeah,
oh wow, that is cool.
Dude, that's so awesome. Great job. I love what my fans will share. So when I do the live show, every couple weeks, people can post like what it is they're working on in here, and so it's always great to see like the immense talent of the people I know. This is courtesy of Flo. So she's making some terrain. I'll let you guess which faction.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, no, this is all 3D printed too. Which I hadn't even had a chance to talk to you much about 3D printing. Oh my god.
But, it's something I have been reticent about getting into because I know it's like a whole
it's a whole hobby on its own
thing.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so, very nice.
Nice.
Wow,
white armor is not easy to do, so that looks great.
The one on the top right, the little injector, that looks. I really like the little red in it and stuff. That looks great.
Yeah, like what is that? Some OSL going on, and the face on the guy with the falcon looks great. Good job, Flo. Damn, keeps getting better. This one's from JP, Mr. Got Rockets himself.
It's not ready for human consumption.
Disclaimer on his image.
Too late.
Come on.
Too late. Too late. It's just been consumed.
I love it. Great colors.
Yeah.
You need to base your models, but I'm sure you'll get there. I know you will. And this is Siobhan's Dreadnought. And cool. Thankfully his picture is somewhat out of focus. So you can't quite see the graphic nature of the reason why people might get mad at his models. Or be very happy. I mean, I really haven't seen anyone mad at him.
Fair enough.
I'm surprised it's not carrying a waifu along with it.
I know. I was expecting.
I'm a little surprised.
A little more. I feel like this is one of his more tame.
You can put a body pillow in that claw.
I mean, I think that might be what it is holding in its claw. Actually.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, I kind of think it is.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Asked and answered. There we go.
Oh, dude, I appreciate you. Perfect. And see, I mean, you get talent from so many places on the internet.
Yeah, never know where the inspiration's going to strike.
You never know what you're going to get. Oh, dude, that was wonderful. Thank you. Oh, my gosh.
Did you get any of the Glacial photos yet?
Oh, yeah, I sent them.
Let me reopen Instagram.
Sorry.
You're good. We're just sort of bumping our way through this live stream.
But if you would like to, Phil,
I feel like
keep sending these to us every 2 weeks, and we'll keep everyone updated on your progress.
We go. That sounds good.
Army.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a week left, so.
Oh, okay.
So
then we'll just get to the exciting conclusion.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll make sure to send a exciting like family shot of all of them together.
Yes.
Once I get them done, and send that over so you guys can see if I made it or not. So.
You made it. So which tournament are you in?
I'm doing it's called the 40K Flex. It's being run by the independent characters. It's meant to be like so they have like one for each of the different days, and it's meant to be like more of a chill like gaming like tournament kind of thing. And I think like the prizes are by raffle, so the whole point is like you go to have fun and play, and I really enjoy that. Like I've started to do like the 40K friendly at LVO, and I did the 40K friendly last year at Adepticon. This year I tried to do it again, but I forgot the timing and was like 2 hours late to register, and by that time everything was sold out. So I was lucky to get into
you gotta be on it if you're gonna go to Adepticon and participate in either the classes or the tournaments.
No, exactly. So it was I was 2 hours late, so it meant I had everything was already sold out. But I got into this thing, so I found myself really enjoying being able to go to go to conventions and events and stuff like that, and doing like a 1 day kind of more chill kind of event where I get to do the gaming, get to have that experience, but then also have like the time and space to be able to enjoy the convention and enjoy people, like interacting with people and seeing friends, and like being able to see all the different things that are going on that maybe not my particular like slice of the hobby, but it's still fun to see what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like going out and checking like all the different stuff they're doing.
Show off. What the heck is this stuff I'm looking at?
Yeah, so this is actually a kit bash model. I kit bashed. This is like the Lord Cacophonist, and that model isn't available yet. So I was like, I want him in my list, so I had to kit bash some. So because I had like the 2 boxes, I had some extra noise marine bodies, so I made 2 of them into Lord Cacophonists. So I'm just
that gun has a mouth.
Yeah, it's a screamer pistol, because they're all about I know it's
the
fun.
Noise Marines.
Yes, exactly. Like that's the thing is like how could you not be inspired to want to do this stuff when they've got ridiculous things like a screamer pistol, or a noise marine? Come on.
Yeah, for real. No, the whole noise marine thing's quite impressive. Good night. You make that pink look so not tacky. I really appreciate that. Like it's kind of hard to do with such a vibrant, like,
it has been like
color.
It is, and it's been like a bit of a process, like trying to figure out how to do this. So, actually, cool part about this, I'm gonna do another name drop here. See the lightning effect on there? I did that with Brent from Goobertown Hobbies,
I don't know him, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, awesome guy. Him and Casey from eBay Miniature Rescues, they started a company called Goblin Hobbies. Hold on, just here.
You're failing.
Yes, Goblin Hobby. I know. I'm really bad at name dropping. I just like. You said you're bumping your way through this. I'm bumping my way through life. Let's be honest.
We do.
They started a company called Goblin Hobbies, and they've come out with these. Basically, what they are is they're designed. They're basically just like nail art stampers. So that you have like these they're like these silicone like heads, and what you do is you put like basically nail polish into these things, scrape it over the top, put the stamper on it, and then you can basically take that little design that's been laser etched into these plates, and then roll it onto the model, and it'll have this. So you can have this was just like a lightning effect that they had, but they have like a whole bunch of different ones. Like they have like different shoulder iconography, numbers, and things like that. So you can do it's basically designed to have either like a pattern or a like anything that you would have like a decal for. But now it's just like, because it looks painted on, because it's just you use like this nail art kind of method.
It's what normally used for rolling images onto a fingernail.
Yes, or have you ever seen like those? Exactly. Have you ever seen those videos where they have like they're stamping bowls and they just got like that little like bubble, like the bobule thing that like stamps onto a thing and then like keeps going down and it makes the image onto the bowl. Yeah. Very fun to watch those videos.
Taught me so much about manufacturing.
But it's like that same kind of process basically for this, except it's designed to be like hobby centric. So you've got like lightning, they've got like different emblems and stuff like that you might want to have on a shoulder pad of a space marine, and because it's like this like,
Imperium font for numbers.
exactly exactly, and they've got all that stuff, and the whole thing is it's really cool with this stamper tool because wow. So that's the Demon Prince he was yelling about. This is the
fire effect is
that weapon.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
I was very pleased with how it turned out.
Liar.
Hey, to be fair, I said I'm getting better.
I really like the red on that gun too. That is a strong red. Like
gorgeous.
I was very happy with this. This is the Lord of Oppression from Creature Caster. So I'm actually going to enter this into the Resin Beast competition and have him be my flying demon prince for my army. So it's going to be.
He might have something on his foot. I think he's stepping in something.
Yeah, exactly. He found some. Yeah, he found some followers of the Corpse Emperor over there.
I can't get over that blade. Holy cow, that's an insane effect.
I was very happy with how it turned out. So I
so
learned.
The real question is, could you do it again?
I don't know.
Fair.
I'd certainly be willing to try it again, but that's it next to the Lord Cacophony. You can see like the scale there.
He's like, I'm your boss.
Oh, that's like the Lord Exultant. Sorry, my bad.
Of course.
Trying to get all these new character names straight there, but yeah.
Wow, very beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I was pretty happy how everything turned out.
Who's this fella? He looks like he's ready to fix a pipe.
Yeah, this is a character from that role playing the Imperial Melodic I was talking about. So this is one of the characters is this is Ares, who's being played by Joseph, and he's like an aspiring like tech priest. So he's
behold my wrench.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to start small, right? You start with a wrench, then you eventually get up to your cog like devices
and a hammer. He's already upgraded.
Yeah, exactly. So he was working.
Wrench. That's great.
Yeah, and the way it worked was he was working on the ship that we eventually got taken that we got brought to do our thing. So that's where he kind of came through from. Was
that your inspiration?
Yeah. Well, he said he wanted a big wrench, and I was like on it, and I looked everywhere, and I found this in in one of the GSC kits, the Gene Stealer Cult kits. I found it, and I was like,
really?
We're making it happen. Yeah, I think it may have been the Jackals, if I'm not mistaken. So
okay, all right.
So it's like riding by on
here. Yeah, let's see. So
this is Drew. Yeah, this is Drusilla Drusilla. This is played by Stevie, and she plays she's a hiver, like a hive ganger who got brought in on this. So
does she have two different color eyes?
Yes, she does. Oh, you noticed. Great. Oh, that's so cool. So
nice.
Yeah, she said that it was funny because they all gave me kind of descriptions of what they wanted their character to look like, and then I went with from there. And one of the things she was like, I want purple hair with some streaks. And then if you can, I know eyes are typical, but can you do it like the dichromia? So like a blue and like a dark. And I was like, I'm going to do my best. And I did it. So, and you noticed right away. So that made me excited. So
no, that's a Lord of Depression. I'm just going to throw my paints and make a basket weaving.
No, just keep painting. That's how you get there. Trust me. If I showed you my melty cowman, this is Star.
Psyker here.
Yeah, this is Star, played by Wesley. This is she's a sanctioned psyker. So I had to do that. So basically I took the psyker kit from this one, and I just changed out the arms for ones from the
Imperial Guard psychers.
Yeah, well the arm, it's one of the Imperial Guard psychers. And I took the arms from a Chaos cultist because they had bare arms, because the way he wanted this character to be was that she was ripped, and I was like, all right, well I gotta show the gun show, right? So that's what I made for this. So it's I had to cut out the arms and put it together that way.
Add a little muscle definition there.
Exactly.
She looks like she's about to fire up her laser eyes. Ooh.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is
Battlehead.
Yes, cool. Exactly. It is. This is Alana. She is being played by Misty, and she's a basically like an inquisitorial acolyte. So, and she has aspirations of one day maybe being Inquisitor herself. But for now, she's being seconded to our to the rogue trader that we are under. So.
Good effect, like little shoulder thing he's got going on. Good detail.
Yeah, the shoulder one was and this is Gore. This is the guy. That's the character. Yes, it is. That's the character I play. He's a naval a former naval armsman.
You said a breacher, right?
Yeah, like a former naval armsman I got there. So he's got his thing, and on the back I actually have his shotgun. Like you can kind of see like the gun there. So he's got a chainsword that he likes to cut people with
for close encounters.
Yeah, exactly. And we have a running joke where every time he starts to like really go into action in close combat, he adds an extra E because he's Gore, G-O-R. So he adds the extra E and becomes Gore with an E at the end of it. Every time he starts to go like and starts chopping people up. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It looks like you put a glow effect on his orange. It's so vibrant.
Yeah, that's actually that orange is the which speed paint was it? It was one of the speed paints.
Oh, it's a speed paint. Okay.
Yeah, and the armor is the Turnbull turquoise. It's one of the new speed paint that they came out with in the sets. So yeah.
Good job. You've gotten pretty good at this over the years. I'm glad you stuck around for the hobby and practice.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. I try. So but yeah, but I mean that's also the thing where it's like, you know, if I had just told myself that the only way to enjoy this game was just to keep doing like pumping it out for the
just games and battle reports over and over.
Yeah, if I said like that's just the way it's got to be, and it didn't give myself the chance to like explore other aspects of it, I wouldn't have found the fact that I love doing painting now, and I love pushing myself with painting and things like that.
So we're already at our 90-minute mark, late in fact, so we have to wrap it up, unfortunately. Yeah. But maybe we should end on this question: What is your opinion of the state of the hobby at this point?
Yeah, I think that the state of the hobby is possibly the best that it's been in the time that I've been a nerd. I think that like the main games like 40K and Kill Team are kind of at their best iterations that I've ever experienced. And beyond that, I think that the fact that you have like there's a ton of independent games and model agnostic games and other avenues that have opened up for wargamers to try and explore. Like the fact that Trench Crusade made like $3 million or something, or $8 million on its Kickstarter or something like that is incredible. Like, and it just goes to show you that there's just like this world of hobby out there that is just vibrant and doing really cool things. And the fact that you have like, you know, all these different painting competitions that are opening up and opportunities that are just there. I honestly think that right now the hobby is possibly in the best place it's been ever in the time that I've been around as a nerd, which is a lot longer than I like to admit. So, but you know, I think part of it is that you have to kind of like pull yourself back from the like the echo chamber of hate that the internet can be sometimes. And I think that if you just take the words that are being like yelled at each other, like you would think that it's in an awful place. But when you actually get down to it and actually enjoy the actual hobby, it's amazing. Like there's so many different models that are so fun to paint and build that look super cool. You've got so many different options for different games that you could do. You've got all these different like, you know, conventions that are happening and tournaments that are happening, like Nova Open. There's so many things happening there that you could go and do that it's just in a place right now that is just awesome to be. And it's like exciting to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
For me personally.
And I guess to speak to the internet point of it, because like you get online, you can find like ucky versions of any given community.
Yeah.
Generally, like speaking though, if you go to a game store, face-to-face interaction, people are really quite nice.
Yeah. Who knew if you had actually looked the person in the eye that you wouldn't start calling them names?
Yeah. I mean, there's a different social contract, if you will.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why, going to conventions, going to the stores, going out there and, being there in that energy really makes you just feel like there's just so many opportunities and possibilities. And I think that's true. I think that really is, there's so many things out there that you can do. So yeah, big fan.
That's a positive note. All right, so we're going to sign out here. We're going to play our little outro, so feel free to keep chatting in the chat.
And look for Phil, because he's definitely in the outro if he wasn't in the intro.
There we go. Yeah.
Where do people find you?
Sure. Yeah. So my main channel is going to be on YouTube. So go check me out there. I'm the Glacial Geek on YouTube. I think it's at the Glacial Geek. At the Glacial Geek or at Glacial Geek. I can't remember which one. Because I was an idiot when I started this 10 years ago, and like some of my things are just at Glacial Geek and some are at the Glacial Geek. I think YouTube is the Glacial Geek. But basically it's just a picture.
At the Glacial. Let's try it out. Geek.
There we go.
Yes, that's
yes. Got it. Look at me remembering my own things.
He remembered his own name.
Yeah. Who knew I could remember? Yeah, look at me. I feel like I deserve a star for that one.
Props on your thumbnails, by the way. Quite entertaining.
I'm saying I'm trying to boost my my internet ways there with cool things. So yeah. Thing. So that's the main one you can go check out. I've got videos there. I put them out every Friday. I also am on Blue Sky and Instagram. Instagram, I'm just at Glacial Geek. So
did we miss Thomas Grable's miniature?
What? How did I miss that one? Oh shoot, I'm sorry. Where did that even go?
We could better find it.
I have it.
Get it up there.
I'm gonna make this right.
We're going into overtime. We're going into overtime. Yeah, we're going into overtime. Here we go.
There it is. There
Boom.
My friend.
Oh, that's super cool.
Ooh, I like the War Machine backdrop.
Yeah. What model is that?
Right. He's so on brand, right?
Zoom in on
that looks great.
Get some zoom. Can you do it?
I'm zooming. Oh wait.
From Mordheim.
What is this looking at? Is this looking at is this looking at the wrong one?
It's looking at the web page.
Dang it. Hold on. Let me see if I can operate this stuff correctly. Aha. There we go.
Got him. Oh, that's cool.
She's so
that's
cool.
super cool.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. I did catch it. I don't know why I didn't end up going, and I thought I went through all the images for some reason. So my bad. And there's
I'm
backside. Yeah. Good,
hey, Nani.
good hairline.
Oh, so on the leg there, is that like
scarring?
Ritual scarring?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's super cool.
Nice. That looks awesome. Thank you, Thomas. I'm sorry. That looks really cool.
Yeah, if we missed anyone, let us know. For sure.
For Mordheim? Oh, nice. That's cool. Yeah, Thomas says for Mordheim. That's a game that, man, that's another thing I really want. There's all these different games I want to try because they seem fun, and like the idea of just like building up a warband.
Yeah. We have several years back, we had an amazing Mordheim board at Valhalla, which is like multi-tiered and this sort of city you're running around, and it was
cool.
Amazing. So
that's awesome. That's super awesome.
Always good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll be back here in 2 weeks, which will be April 2nd. And when is Adepticon actually? You'll be back
next week. Yeah, it's next week. I'll be back. Yeah, it's I think it starts next Wednesday, or next Wednesday is when I get there. But I think I'm like to help set up the booth for the Army Painter. So yeah,
well,
I'll be around.
Are you doing
Thank you very much.
Competitions?
No, yeah. So I'm gonna that
Creature Caster. That's right.
He's gonna be in Creature Caster, so I'm gonna have him for that, and nothing else. I don't have anything that's into Golden Demon. Although I did say that after painting this guy for this, I was like, next year I want to enter Golden Demon, and I want to try to get like a pin. That's my goal.
Contender.
I want to be a contender. I want to feel like I've got to earn my spot on the.
Could have been a contender.
Exactly.
Well, make sure to check out Thomas Grable at the War Machine table. He's running narrative events. So
heck yeah. And same, if you see me out there, come say hi and let me know that you saw me on the amazing Wargamer Girl channel here. So
yeah,
tell them where I came from. Yeah, do it.
Thomas
I love
is a fantastic painter. He does win awards, so maybe we could get a few tips from him.
There we go. That sounds great. I'd love to hear what he has to say about my.
Play the outro now. See you in a few minutes. Copy that. No more sandwiches, Barry. What's wrong with this place? I'm in the west corridor. I'm right outside the generator room. I'm out of bullets.